everyone, it's MK. Welcome back. So tonight we are on the sofa. Myself, Mr. MK is here as well, and he's going to be on the ready to interject anything technical for tonight. But the purpose of tonight's video is to walk you through some of the things that have been going on with us, and specifically related to my website and my video hosting site. So let me just start by first mentioning what you're looking at on the screen. This beautiful double wedding ring quilt I put up on my desktop just to have a nice picture, and I just wanted to call your attention to the quilting on this. This lovely quilt was made by a friend of mine from Quilt Guild, and when she came to have it quilted, she specifically told me she really didn't want custom quilting, which I normally do, fill all of these spaces with custom quilting. But I did exactly what she wanted, and I think that this is kind of proof positive that sometimes a quilt that you would normally put custom quilting on can be just as beautiful with a nice all-over pattern. Alright, so let's get started. What we're going to do tonight is walk you through some of the changes that Paul has been doing to my website, and then we're going to specifically concentrate on the video site and how you rent videos and how you go back to view them. Alright, so we're going to start by going to MK Quilts, and I am going to let Paul talk just a little bit right here about the browsers that you might be using on your computer.
Alright, so we will be using the Google Chrome browser, which can be downloaded for phones, Macs, PCs. It's a browser that's available everywhere, and I would always keep a copy of this on whatever device you have. Now, that doesn't mean you can't use the Edge browser, which is down here, that comes with Windows 10, but that's sort of the new browser, and there could be issues with it. You've got Internet Explorer, you've got Firefox, and you have on the Mac Safari. So sometimes when you're having issues with a website or something not displaying, like the video might not be running well, always fall back and try it on Chrome before you get too frustrated. I will show you my blog later that has a description on how to clear cookies, but those are the two things that will help solve most of your internet browsing issues.
Alright, so we're going to go to mkquilts.com, and Paul recently did a blog post about the fact that you can drop the www in front of websites that you're entering. So I'm not going to put www there, and we'll direct you to the blog post about that later. But let's just go ahead and head on over to the MK Quilts homepage. So if you haven't been here in a while, you're going to see that it looks a little bit different on the home page. And what Paul has decided to do is to try to keep the top of my home page as kind of a bulletin board, so to speak, for the latest news that's happening, some of the maybe the new content that he wants to highlight. We know that some of you who are watching this video right now do not have Facebook, and up until this point my primary means of communication for social media has been my Facebook group. But I don't want to alienate myself from other folks who do not have Facebook. So we're going to try to keep this home page up to date with some of the posts that I may have done recently on Facebook, just so that you can all stay up to date with me. Alright, so right as I scroll down a little bit, you're going to see one of the newest things that Paul has just added to our services through my company is some of his IT tech support. So I'm going to let him talk about that just briefly as long as we're here.
Alright, so I'm really enjoying working for MK, the CEO. I do have some benefits being her husband. But part of this that has really worked out well is I've gotten a lot of experience with customers and their problems. And one request was that they'd really like to get a new laptop with simulator on it, but they don't know what type to buy and everything. So the first service is basically, I'll work with you for an hour. We'll select a laptop. You'll buy it, it'll ship to me, and I'll install everything, get things configured, and ship it back to you so that when you get it, it has your sim software and even Art and Stitch set up on it, and we'll know that everything's running. That usually with any new laptop, even if you do it yourself, the first day or two is loading patches, getting things back up. And so if you want to avoid that frustration and you trust us and our support, that's one service that we'll offer. The other one is that a lot of people don't have a relative, a smart young grandson or something, or son that has the time or patience to make sure the computer is running well, and that if you have issues or you want to upgrade your sim, this is a subscription service basically. We're going to invest in some rather pricey software, but it'll allow us to load a small piece of software on your computer which will monitor whether you're getting your patches right, whether there's any serious problems, and if you have an issue, we'll be able to jump on your computer and help you solve it quickly. Okay, so that's something else to consider if you want your little IT guy. It's like buying insurance at $10 a month for a year. It's one visit to the Geek Squad.
Those two items right there, I think those are worth their weight in gold. So thank you, Mr. MK, for offering that. We're going to come back and talk about this over here on the left side in a minute. But what we want to do is just go ahead and scroll on down. Now just remember, this is still my home page. So as we scroll down, the first piece you come to here is for quilters. So this section right here are for my local people who are looking to contact me or get information about my long arm quilting services. Okay, that's how I have built my business from the ground up, and I still plan to continue to do my long arming for hire. It's my love, it's my me time in my studio with my quilts and my machine. So if you need quilting services or you know somebody who does, you can send them here and they can contact me and we'll get their quilts in to be finished. All right, the next section as we move down moves into more of my focus as a handy quilter retailer, okay? The next section is for those of you who are also fellow long armers, specifically handy quilter with Pro Stitcher owners who might want to keep up with me what I'm doing with my videos, any of my in-home training events, my YouTube content, any of the products that I have for sale, any of the handy quilter gadgets or things of that nature. So this section right here, all about those of you who do what I do and are handy quilter owners.
So may I just point out, if you look at that picture in the background of the beautiful McFinity sitting there, so if you have an urge to step up to the McFinity, we don't focus on delivering the machines as a retailer. We're more into training, but especially if you're local to Florida, we'll be glad to help you get the machine in and continue to support you with the MK way.
And one of the things, just as a tag to what Paul just said, as a handy quilter retailer, we are committed to supporting people locally. Now that doesn't mean that if you're some other place in the United States that we can't help you. We would love to be able to do that. But we also want to be aware that you are going to need local sales and service. So if you are hooked in with a retailer, we don't want to infringe on that. We think it's very important for you to have a good, strong working relationship with your local handy quilter representative. If you don't have said HQ rep, we would love to talk to you about becoming your retailer and seeing what we can do to work with you wherever you are in the United States. Okay? All right, so let's move on down. This next section, there's a little tab for my class details, and I wanted to just pause right here for a second. Paul's got a little embedded video there. I am working up some new content for my video hosting site for a little mini class on how I approached this beautiful quilt that I worked on a few weeks ago. So that's going to be a new video. Just watch for that coming up soon. All the way down here at the bottom of the home page is your way to contact me. Right over here, a direct link to my email if you want to do it that way, or you can fill in this little form right here, do a short blurb right there, and then send email. It'll come directly to me so that I can reply to you. The next section is our newsletter section, and we have just tonight we're putting the final touches on the next installment for our newsletter. So right now we're recording this at the beginning of May, towards the middle of May. So be watching for a new newsletter to be coming out this weekend. And if you are not already on my email list, go ahead and sign up right here to subscribe to the newsletter. Right there, subscribe to newsletter. Okay? So that all of that information is all on the home page. You just scroll down to get to the section that is of interest to you. All right, I want to move on now to talking specifically about the video training store. And let me just have Paul hop in here for a second and just tell you some of the things that he's done in way of updating the video store.
Okay, so where we want to go with the video store is really making it more of a community effort. We want to invite other YouTubers that have been out there with experience, like Paula from Cedar Quilts. We'll talk about her a little bit later and in the newsletter. But in order to make this more flexible so that it's not just Melissa's things, if you're looking for videos and you go up to the video training store, you'll see we've got sub-menus now under there. Video contributors will talk about Melissa and Paul a little bit more, or you can jump specifically to their content. I'll let Melissa decide how she drives through this.
So the first thing that I want you to be aware of is that my video hosting site is a completely different website, okay? But your main way to get to me or my content will be through mkquilts.com. All right, then we can come over here to the video training store. The very first thing you can do if you want is click directly on this tab right here. That will take you to another page, which basically is just some introductory type information about who is currently helping as a contributor on my site. All right, if we want to, we can jump back to where we were, I believe, by pressing this button, correctly?
That'll take you to the Yondo store. That won't jump you back. So I just use the back arrow if you want to go back to the page, or click the home button to go to home.
Okay, so we can click here, or we can click here. Can I click here, Paul?
Nope. You can try.
Huh, okay. All right, so this is good information. See, MK is learning also. So we can hit the back button or we can hit the home button to get ourselves back to the video training store.
Well, back to the home page. From there you can access the video training store by the way you were going through there.
Okay. Thank you for clarification. All right, let's go ahead and go under MK for right now to my featured videos. And what I want to tell you about my featured videos are my most recent content. Anything that I have recorded in ProStitch or Premium, those have been listed up at the top of my page, of my video page. So again, once you get here, you can just go ahead and scroll on through and you can see the various videos. Now, if you go ahead and choose a video from this page, what you're going to get is a short preview, if I have created one, a short preview of what that video is. That doesn't necessarily take you to that video to watch it in its entirety, even if you think you've purchased it. You'll notice down here, see where it just says 2 minutes and 13 seconds. That's your main indicator to tell you that you either have not purchased it or you are not logged in. So let's go ahead and go back up to the top here.
May I step in here a second?
Absolutely.
So scroll down to that one you were previewing. Let's say you previewed that and you wanted to look at it or buy it. If you just select video details, that will take you to the Yondo page to rent it directly. So each one of those videos can be accessed directly, and then you could rent it from here.
So if you want to rent it, you would go right ahead and do here. Click that button. If you think you've already rented that one, well then you need to log in to go back to obtain your content that you have already previously purchased. So let's go ahead and let's log in. Now we have created a little alias site here under the name of our precious dog Samson.
No, Samson created that. What are you talking about?
Samson created it?
He likes your videos.
Wow, I'm pretty impressed. All right, so here we go. Now you're going to notice that this screen looks very similar to the one that we were already on. The only difference here is you're going to see your name up here. Assuming that you used your own name, you're going to see your name up there. That's going to be your indicator that you are now logged in to the video site. Okay, if you scroll down, you're still going to see the videos, some of the other videos that I have to offer. Now, one little side note. We are bringing on Paula from Cedar Quilts, and she's going to be adding some content. To begin with, until the site grows, her content is also going to be listed down here at the bottom under it's kind of like the master listing of all the videos on the site. All right? So just keep that in mind, that her content is probably going to be a little bit intermingled with my own. Okay, so we're going to go back up. Now you're probably thinking, okay, MK, I rented some of your videos. Where do I find them? What you want to do is go over here under menu, and you're going to click on dashboard, and that's going to take you to a listing of the items that you have previously rented. So here Samson has rented layout and rendering #1 in Pro Stitcher Premium. Alright, so we've got here's the one that Samson rented. Just to make sure that it is the full length video, I'm going to go ahead and click on it. Now, one little note, I want you to be aware of something that Paul and I have made a change recently. This video that Samson rented, he rented this a while ago. And he rented it during the phase of our business where we were originally planning to give you 164 years of rental time on this video. Paul and I talked about that a little bit, and we really thought that 164 years was a little unrealistic. Things are going to change. Content's going to change. None of us are going to be alive in 164 years. So what we have decided to do is bring that rental period down to 3 years. So it's roughly 1,000 or 1,100 days. And if you get to the end of 3 years and you still want to have access to something that you rented, you can just reach out to me. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. I don't want to take any content away from you that you really need, but I do want to maintain my site, keep space open for me to put new content up. And again, things are changing, and so just be aware that that figure right there is probably going to be more in the range of 3 years when you go to rent a video. Okay, but let's go ahead and click on play.
All right, so there we go. Okay, so
all right, I'm just going to turn the audio off on that video, but what you can see down here now on the screen is the fact that this is almost a 2-hour video, so you can be assured now that you are logged in, you have your content, it's the full video, you can watch it. If you scroll down a little bit, you're going to see any of the handouts or tutorials or anything that I have added to that particular video, and those things are there for the taking. You can go ahead and download them and save them onto your own computer. Alright, so if you thought, okay, well, I've got this video, I think I rented another one, just remember the way to get back there is menu and dashboard, and that will take you back to what you've already purchased. Now, if you want to purchase something additional, Paul, where do we go from here if we want to purchase something additional?
So go to Menu and choose Videos or Playlists, and it takes you back to the screen with the videos or playlists. Melissa may at some point give live training classes through this site. There's a lot of other functionality through this service that we can use. But for now, it's a video store.
All right, so let's go back to, now I'm kind of navigating around here on my own. How do I, Paul, get back to where I can see the contributors list?
Okay, so you need to go back to MK Quilts main site. Now, if you just click on MK Quilts there, go ahead, click it. It takes you back to the main video site of the Yondo. So if you look in the URL, it's still mkquilts.yondo.com. That tells you you're at the video store. But I put a link down in the instructions down below that's easy to, no, right up there, dear.
Oh, right here. Right there?
Yeah, right there. And I might make it easier, but I have limited capabilities to pretty up the Yondo site like it can do here. So if you look at the URL, you're back at just mkquilts.com. And there's the menu. And always come back to the menu. That's where you're going to get to all the good, juicy content.
All right. So previously we were under MK's content. If we go under Paula's content, just want to tell you that this is something up and coming. And we've been posting about this. About Paula, my dear friend, my fellow Minnesota quilter. She's just a fantastic, dynamic, really awesome quilter. She's going to have some things coming up in the very near future, and so just keep coming back to watch for her content. And this is right where you can right where you can get it. mkquilts.com. Click on the video, the contributors, and then down to Paula.
So Paula has over 50 free YouTube videos that people have seen. So a lot of people probably know about Paula right now. If you scroll down, these two are just a couple of her more popular ones that we linked. They're actually YouTube videos. You can view them here or whatever. And we'll probably, with the help of her techie people, build out this page to be a little bit more descriptive as well. You can see by the button, Take Me to Cedar Quilts, we can put links in that'll take you to her website. I mean, this is a true partnership, but she's going to have her own unique spin on things. And we're just here again trying to build a community. Paula doesn't want to worry about technical stuff. She's an artist. So we will get things built up, and I know Paula's actually got her first class ready to upload to Yondo here this weekend, and hopefully we'll get it available for next week, so stay tuned.
All right, so that was the main thing that we wanted to tell you about for tonight, is to just really keep coming back to mkquilts.com frequently, to the home page, to make sure that you can see whatever is the latest, greatest things happening with MK. This is your spot to get to the videos, to any of the contributors that we have. And Paul just pointed to my videos. What is my videos going to do for me, Paul?
Well, this note down below is going to go away, but if you just want to get to the Yondo site, you can come to My Quilts, or to MK Quilts, and click on that. Go ahead and click on it. It's just a shortcut, so you don't have to go through the multi-layer. If you're already a member and you look, you logged in, Samson logged in, so he's already logged in right now. It takes you straight to the Yondo site. If you're here to view videos, you don't have to go searching or through the contributors pages to get there.
So always having more than one way to do something is a good thing. The other things up along the top here, upcoming events. If you want to know where I'm going to be, maybe somewhere near you for some sort of a training event, you can click on that. The product store is something that we're always adding to, and if you go there and you scroll down, you'll see that my offer for print material is ongoing. Of course, if you want to learn anything more about Handy Quilter products, tools and accessories, that's where you're going to find all those different gadgets that I'm selling. Again, here's my live in-home, in-shop sessions. And then there's a new tab called Computer Services. And I think that probably, let's just see what Paul did here. And that takes you right back to those services that he talked about in the beginning of this video. That service to help you through the purchase of a new computer or the monthly subscription, just to kind of give you your own special geek squad in Mr. MK.
That wine glass is not as big as it looks.
Sure, Paul.
Sure.
Uh-huh.
Well, the doctor told me to limit myself to 2 glasses. He never said how big.
All right, and then lastly over here we have the help function. And Paul has really been putting a lot of time into giving you some options for help. There's always questions and different things flying around, and when I see chatter here, there, and other places out on the social media boards, I have asked him to try to keep my blog and his technical blog up to date. So if you're out there in the social media sphere and you've got some questions about something, a lot of times you'll get some answers on the boards. You might just want to hop over here to MK Quilts, click on the help function, and see if we have any little tidbits to add to anything.
So go to my techie stuff there, because I did mention, I believe before, about clearing your cookies. What does that mean? Well, your browser keeps track of things, and sometimes it interferes with web pages working properly. So if you scroll all the way to the bottom, there's a lot of information in here. Keep going down.
I'm just looking at what you've all added.
Yes, Melissa is very, very, very busy, so she doesn't have time to always look at things. But these are all topics that people have had questions about. So one of the first things is, how do I clear a browser? Well, it depends on which browser you're using. So I did not write a whole new document on, I'm going to click read more here so we get the whole clearing your cookies thing up here. But what I'm doing is giving you a link to somebody else's page. You can read all this. But this page gives you information on all the major browsers so that it'll walk you through. And this is sort of one of my goals, is there's a lot of information out there on the website that or out on the internet where you can find the answers. I'm just trying to point you to them, if that makes sense. So we'll go back to the MK Quilt site, scroll up to the top, and take you home. All your navigation should be most easily done through the menu bar up top here. If you end up having a computer problem, even if you aren't one of our paid IT support members, I've been helping a lot of people, and I use a little program that allows me to see your desktop to help out. And this is an instruction on how to download just a little program, run it, and only when you give me the little codes can I access your system. But it helps me help you, and we solved a lot of real basic problems that way related to, I can't get my simulator installed, or I'm seeing this error message. So we'll try and help you as much as we can. Please use the contact information at the bottom. If you have a burning or urgent issue, Melissa's cell phone is here. We are here to support you. If it's not urgent, send her a Facebook message or something else, and she's pretty much on it all the time. So
my goal in general is to provide the best quilting services that I can for my local customers, and then also to share with all of you my deep love for Pro Stitcher. I think that you can probably tell, if you've been following me, that I pretty much rely on my Pro Stitcher about 99% of the time. and I try to know it. I try to learn it as best as I can, and I want to share that knowledge with you as much as I can. Now, I'm trying to keep a good and a fair balance between some free content for you and some paid content, to keep me going. And I can't tell you how much I appreciate all of the positive feedback and support that I've gotten to date. It really warms my heart, but I truly have you in mind when I'm reaching out and trying to help. I know what it's like to be somewhere where maybe you don't have training close by, or your dealer's not open, or you're just stuck with something, or you've got a question. And if I can, I will try to help. And if you can try to help by supporting me in our efforts, what we're trying to do, if you can buy your items through me, if you can update or upgrade with a machine through me, we appreciate that. I'll help you, you help me. That's what it's all about, right? So I think that just about covers it for tonight. I want to thank you for going along on this little tour of MK Quilts. And again, please keep coming back frequently. Take a look at the latest news that we've got going on. Follow me, of course, on the Facebook. Please subscribe to me on YouTube. That does help me to know how many followers I have, and it helps me to reach other people. Watch for Paula's content. All of that is coming very, very soon. And if you are somebody who would like to also join us as a contributor through this site, please reach out to me. I'd love to talk to you, see what kind of content you can offer, and I'd love to talk to you about that. All right, from Mr. MK and MK, thanks for joining us from our home tonight to yours. Happy quilting. Bye-bye.